Hi, friends. Welcome back to Oracle Aura Podcast, a place to absorb information for your soul's vibration, where we discuss all things holistic, spiritual, natural methods of self development. So, today we're going to have a guest who is here to talk about Ayurveda. Her name is Vaidya Shweta, and Vaidya is a prefix, kind of like doctor. She has a PhD in Ayurveda. She's a doctor of Ayurvedic medicine, trained in authentic Ayurveda from esteemed universities in India. She offers training in Ayurveda along with consultations in Canada and all across the globe. Her mission is to make Ayurveda accessible to everyone in Canada. She's an associate editor with the Journal of Research and Education in Indian Medicine, assistant editor in International Ayurvedic Medical Journal, and an editorial board member of World Journal of Pharmaceutical and Medical Research. Shweta started her consultation and health coaching company, Ayush for Life, in Waterloo. She provides telephone-based coaching to support clients through a structured self-help program designed to treat mild to moderate symptoms of depression and anxiety through Ayurvedic principles. Shweta is also training to become a certified doula with Dona International and has recently started volunteering with breastfeeding buddies in the Kitchener-Waterloo region. Shweta specializes in gastrointestinal disorders, hormonal issues, women's health, mental health issues, weight loss, allergy testing, and desensitization. So Shweta and I connected through Facebook, and I became part of a Facebook group that's about holistic health because this is something I've had an interest in for a long time and something I've wanted to talk about on this podcast for a while, but I kind of just was, naturally meeting guests through Instagram and through my travels and just connecting with people. And I decided to be a little more proactive about the way that I was bringing guests onto the podcast. And I hopped into this group and I made a post about the connection between gut health and mental health. Because if you don't know, about 90% of our serotonin is produced in the gut. And when I learned that, and I learned that I could directly affect my mental health with what I was eating, it kind of just blew my mind. So I really want to have even more guests on this podcast to talk about that topic specifically. So Shweta reached out on that post along with a ton of other people who reached out on that post, but she stuck out to me specifically because she is a doctor of Ayurvedic medicine. And I've been saying for the longest time, I would love to do an episode of this podcast about Ayurveda. And honestly, I could not have chosen a better person or connected with a better person to come on Oracle Aura and talk about this with you guys. So I really hope you guys enjoy the conversation as much as I did. And we'll go ahead and dive into this episode of Oracle Aura with Vaidya Shweta about Ayurveda. Enjoy. Hi, Vaidya Shweta. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here. I am super excited to talk about Ayurveda with you today.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, so
I'm
where,
so glad. I'm so glad I'm here.
yes, me too. So where are you right now? You're in Canada, right?
Right, right. I live in Waterloo, uh, in Ontario province. That's where I practice currently.
Awesome. So you and I connected through a Facebook group, and my question in the Facebook group was who here is an expert on the connection between mental health and gut health? And holy cow, I did not expect so many people to respond to that. It was a lot. But your comment really stuck out to me because you said that you are a doctor, and I I don't know what you would call your title, an Ayurvedic doctor or
Yes, yes, an Ayurvedic
okay,
doctor. Yeah.
awesome. So Why don't you give us a little background of what Ayurveda is?
Sure, sure. I will definitely do that, Jeda. And before we start our conversations and today's session, uh, I want to start with the mantra or the Mangla Charan. We say it. That's our um, I would say our tradition before starting any kind of project. We always chant the mantra. So I'm going to chant it and then I'm going to start our conversation today. Is that
Okay.
okay? Okay,
Yeah, that's
that sounds
great.
good. Okay, okay. So here it goes. Sahस्राक्षं गणाधीशं स्वगुरुं च सरस्वतीं जनकं जनयित्रीं च शास्त्रादो प्रणमामयम्. So I bow to the divine. I bow to my parents. I bow to my elders. I bow towards my teachers. And I bow towards the literature that I'm going to talk about today. So
Beautiful.
with all my heart, I'm going to start our conversation today.
All
So
right.
yeah, um, so Ayurveda. Oh gosh, through
Take your
through
time. There's
like
no rush.
uh, all my life, I think I knew Ayurveda. That was part of my life. Even unknowingly, I was using Ayurveda in my life when I was a young girl. So and I think I didn't chose Ayurveda as a course after my high school. Um, Ayurveda chose me to be one of that mediator to share the knowledge of Ayurveda to all the people I know, and and I'm so glad that we connected, Jada. So Ayurveda considered as one of the oldest healing science. It in Sanskrit, the literal meaning of Ayurveda is the science of life, and it's 5,000 years old. Like
Wow.
it was always the part of Indian culture. So
Hmm.
before even Hippocrates, the man behind the modern conventional science, happened, Ayurveda was there in the Indian subcontinent. So we Indian people, we used all the wisdom from this ancient Vedic culture, and it was taught for many thousands of years in a oral tradition form. Like all the masters, they used to uh, recite all the verses to their disciples, and they used to carry that forward, the
Hmm.
baton from the teacher to the students, and that goes on and on and on. And after 5,000 years, after India is a big country. It has a very big history, and after all the ups and downs in the Indian history, still this science is there. It's part of our tradition today as of 2021. So yeah, it has a very very old history, I would say. And the good part is, and the beauty of Ayurveda is that the principles of many natural healing systems which are now familiar in the West, they have their roots in Ayurveda. Like for example, the homeopathy or the polarity therapy that are here, practiced in one form or the other. The
Hmm.
chakras, the meditation, all they have, like, connections with Ayurveda, because Ayurveda is one science that deals with the mind, body, and the soul. So that's
Mm.
how this science is, and it covers all the parts of the human being. Like, the holistic, the whole person is covered if one knows Ayurveda. So yeah, that is Ayurveda. I think that answers your question.
Yes, that definitely
I
answers
don't
my
want to
question.
overwhelm our listeners, you know. Um, in one liner, if I wanted to say, yes, it's one of the oldest Indian system, healing healthcare system, where the person is approached and healed from all the way around: the mental aspect, the spiritual aspect, the physical aspect, and the emotional aspect. So all the four things of health are being covered in Ayurveda.
I see. That's really beautiful. And you would think that, I mean, I guess those Eastern healing modalities and the way that things used to be thousands of years ago are really starting to show up in Western culture because obviously there's something
Mm,
to it. There's something in Western medicine, this this mindset where, oh, we can
mm,
just slap a band-aid on it for the symptoms rather than getting
mm,
to the root cause of something
mm,
that I
mm,
think we're starting to see over time is just not working.
mm,
Like, when I was in high school, I went to a doctor because one of my friends had passed away and it was really hard on me, and the
oh,
doctor diagnosed me with depression and put me on antidepressants, and I was 18 years old. And
mm,
it just in the long term, it made me feel like a robot, and I eventually wasn't
mm,
taking those anymore, but if I would have been asked, in a more holistic
mm,
approach, what was
mm,
actually going on, or even
mm,
what I was eating or how I was spending
mm,
my time, I think there
mm.
could have been another solution to the
Um,
problem.
Absolutely, Jada. I'm so sorry to hear about that part. Definitely, definitely. I agree with you 100%, Jada. Um, so the symptom that manifests in a human body, that's just, it's more than a symptom. It's the pathogenesis behind it is the imbalance of the doshas. So according to the Ayurveda, um, any kind of disease that manifests in the human body is due to the imbalance of the doshas, or the energies, life energies, that is there in our body. So a very I would say basic concept of Ayurveda is uh, that we as in humans, we are not different from the universe. We are a part of universe. So whatever is there in the universe, the same constituents are there in our body as well. So you might have heard about five universal elements in the body, which is ether, air, fire, water, earth. These are five basic elements. So all these they are present in the human body, and they represent in the form of three doshas. So if you ask me what's the difference between the five basic elements and the three doshas, I would say nothing. Elements, they form, and then they unite, and they unite in the human body, and they represent themselves as the three doshas, as the vata, pitta, kapha. That's what constitute the three doshas. So if you ask me, what is so there are three type of doshas that are vat, pit, and kaph. So if you ask me, what is vat, what is pit, and what is kaph, so if I wanted to break it down in terms of five universal elements, it's basically the ether and air. They combine together to form vata dosha. And then there is pitta, which is fire and the water. So pitta dosha, it represents in the form of these two elements. So I'll tell you what are the science behind these elements, and uh, how can we check that which element is imbalanced and not, in a bit. And then there is the third one, which is kapha dosha. It is made up of earth and the water. So all these three doshas are basically the basic universal elements in the body, and when they are in a certain, in a certain level in the body, the person is healthy, and the person is healthy mentally, the person is healthy physically. But somehow, if these elements, they change, their level change, and that level is different in every person on this earth. Just like we have a unique DNA fingerprints on our body, similarly the level of these doshas, these are fixed for every person when the person is born, which is
Mm.
called as prakriti, or the body constitution. So that never change. So when you know what kind of fingerprint, unique the balance of doshas you have, you actually know how to nurture them. You actually know how to balance them out in the form of lifestyle change or dietary change, or other intellectual mind activities. You know that how to control them. uh, so today I'm going to talk about all these elements, how we can tell that which element is imbalanced in our body. And then we will talk about what are the dietary and the lifestyle changes that we can do to help ourselves to know our body, to help to find that unique ID print in our body, so that we can protect ourselves from any unforeseen diseases in the future.
Mm. Awesome. The first time I knew or learned anything about Ayurveda was when I was going to school to be a yoga teacher. And I did my yoga teacher training in India.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, like, in Rishikesh, things are so much less
Mhm.
expensive here. I can go get a massage every weekend. So, so every weekend I went and got my little massage at the spa that
Cool.
was close to the yoga school. And they had an Ayurvedic doctor in the spa.
Right.
And I didn't have a consultation with the Ayurvedic doctor,
Mm.
but he did tell the massage therapist what type of oil to use.
Mhm.
And I guess that was I picked her brain a little bit after. I was like, "Why that?" Like, I'm curious, "Why did you say that?" And
Okay.
the massage therapist uses sesame seed oil or
Right.
sesame oil,
Till,
and
till. Yep.
I still don't understand. Like, I still don't understand why exactly, but, yeah, I just thought it was interesting that just in talking to me for a few minutes and asking me a couple questions, she
Uh-huh.
knew what type of oil to use.
That is actually, whenever we, so Ayurveda is so embedded in our life, Jera, that we on the back of our mind we are just assessing every person, whether it's vata, pitta, or kapha. So I'm pretty sure that when you were having a conversation with that doctor, she was, at the back of her mind, she was actually introspecting. Okay, she's a vata. Okay, I have to use this oil to calm
Okay.
her vata dosha down. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yes. So did you get the answer? Why she used the sesame oil?
My understanding was that the sesame oil was more grounding, like, it
Yeah.
would be like a warmer oil
Mhm.
or more grounding oil. That's
Mhm.
really the only
Mhm.
answer I got.
Okay, so I'll answer that question now.
Okay.
It's an interesting part. So every herbal oil that we use, so there are many oils, plant-based oils, animal based oils, that Ayurveda we can use any kind of oils, but plant-based oils, sesame oil is one of the best that is available, and that is best for the skin. So skin is the seat of vata dosha. Um, so to calm or to balance that vata dosha down, uh, if you use sesame oil, it will be best. It will be best. So I'm going to tell the difference between a good and a better and the best. So the
Okay.
best option is sesame oil, and then better and good can be depending upon that person. So you can even use coconut oil, you can even use olive oil. So you don't need any kind of herbal oils specifically to balance out your vata dosha. But if you have herbal oils based upon your constitution, that is the best option. Do you get it? What I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Mhm.
So sesame oil is basically, yes, you are correct. It's warm in potency, and vata dosha is cold. You know. So the properties of vat or vayu in the body is like it's rough, like it's sheet. So I'm going to use the Sanskrit word. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so the vayu or the vat element in the body, it's kind of ruksh, which in English means rough. It is sheath, which is cool. It is laghu, it is light. It is sukshma, it is subtle. It is chal, that means it's mobile. It's vishad, that means it's non-slimy, and it is
Mm-hmm.
khar, which means it is coarse. Now think of all these words, and imagine this in the body. So whenever there are winters, our skin dries up, and
Right.
we feel very cold, obviously, because it's winter. But it is due to the excess vayu dosh in the environment. The vat is also there in our body, and it's also there outside. So what so the roughness or the coldness, when we feel,
Mm-hmm.
imagine the properties of air. When you fill an air in the balloon, it's light, balloon flies up, it goes up in the sky, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's mobile, air can move anywhere. So the same properties actually happens in our body. you know so um, all the expansion or the dislocation, looseness, separation, uh, all these, excitement, or uh, all the forces that, all the, I would say, behavioral changes that we have, that happens due to vata dosha. you know and to calm that down, uh, or to balance it down, we need something which is very grounding, which is very, I would say, lubricated, which is very, um, I would say, very unctuous means we have to use any kind of fat. you know
Mm-hmm.
so to balance it out, we have to use something which has the properties opposite to the properties of vata dosha. So that's why the doctor used sesame oil, and you felt so good. uh, uh, you have you ever felt, whenever a person is touching your skin, your vata dosha is, if your vata dosha is imbalanced, and when person is, massaging you, you will feel better. Why do you
Mm-hmm.
actually feel better? The reason behind that part is because, unknowingly, like, that person might don't know what effect of massage is there, except for the lubrication of the skin. You are actually touching the vata dosha in the form of massaging, and you're calming it down through that activity of abhyanga, which is massage in English.
I
uh
see. That makes sense because most of the time, I feel like maybe I have a lot of Vata energy because most of the time when I have muscle pain
yeah.
or when I have a lot of tension in my body, it's because I've overworked myself. I get so excited about my ideas and then I just work, 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 and then I don't rest. And then I end up in pain. And luckily, the place I teach yoga at is also a massage studio. And then
Uh-huh.
I have to go get a massage, and then I'm like, instantly, I feel better.
So you're exactly talking about the what imbalance, I would say, Jada. So when
Wow.
you are when you are excited, when you want to move ahead, and when you want to start the project, you have that abundance of energy, But again, after some time, you tire very quickly. You're almost, very quick in action, and you are
Mhm.
jumpy. You are a very quick learner, and you want to learn everything. Okay, I'll take this, and you are, just like an atom, an unstable atom. You are going haywire. So these are all, behavioral changes that we see in ourselves. And just think about that, the vat dosha is right now, kind of imbalance, and to get it all grounded, and to, catch that unstable atom, we have to have any kind of regimen to balance that out. So all the vata persons, their voice is very, light,
Mhm.
and they are very talkative. They love to talk about anything, you know. They'll start the conversation, and they will be, you know, kind of extroverts, and they will move from one person to another, like, you know, in a party, when you're going, you're talking to A B C D E F G, like so
Mhm.
many people at the same time, and you're not
Yeah.
concentrating on any particular person. So yeah, so when you have that abundance of energy, you have your vata dosha going on, and that's driving you, you know, to have that kind of behavior. So definitely in that case, you have to follow those Ayurvedic guidelines that pacify or balance out the vata dosha, the exact vata dosha. So use of oils in the form of abhyanga, which is the massage. It's an excellent choice that people can adopt. So, if a person right now is having anxiety, you know, is having kind of panic attacks, clearly, according to Ayurvedic principles, the Vata dosha is imbalanced in that person. So a simple, a very cost effective, and a simple thing that person can adopt is just massage your body before bathing, you know. Having a hot shower is good. uh, just massage your body, self massage, uh, and or maybe go to a massage therapist and get your massage done with some herbal oils, some Ayurvedic massage, or maybe do at home, and then take a hot shower and listen to some calm, peaceful music, and you will see that the anxiety and the panic attacks, they are getting lower and lower, and you feel a kind of peace in the mind, which is absolutely needed at that particular time.
Nice. It's really interesting that you mentioned listening to calm music too, because for the last, I would say maybe 5 or 6 years, I always put on like I listen to instrumental music before I go to bed that doesn't have any words because it helps
Mhm.
me like chill out.
Wow.
So on
Yeah,
the
that's
other
calming.
end of the spectrum, what about those folks who are feeling more like heavy and
Mhm.
sluggish and maybe
Mhm.
depressed, like they don't want to do anything? What
Mhm.
kind of imbalance does that look like, or what do they need?
Um, I'm happy, Jada, you brought this up. Yeah, so there is another type of dosha that we can talk about right now. So there are two categories, basically two categories that we find, two categories of people that we find in our daily life. So there are those persons who are very, you know, jumpy and energetic and who want to move from one project to another, and then there are those, you know, who are kind of okay, let me do this. I will do this. Oh, yes. You know, those who are like very calm and composed, you know, uh,
Mhm.
very, I would say mentally and physically, they are very grounded, and they start the project when we push them to an extent where it's we when we push them to an extent that they don't want to come back, you know. They're often lazy, and it's very very difficult and to move them, you know,
Mhm.
physically and mentally. So those are like tough dominant people. So if you want to, like, you know, introspect yourself and find out whether you're a vata person or a kapha person. So kapha person, they have like big bodies, you know, and they are predominantly, they have a tendency to get fat, you know. They are well built with fat, they have a good layer of fat in their bodies, and their skin and nails, they are very much moisturized, I would say, even without applying any kind of oils or external applications of cosmetics. Their skin and nails, they are very moisturized,
Hmm.
and then their complexion is towards, you know, from dark color to a fairer side, you know, and their bodies are very strong, and they're of course, I already said that they are lazy, you know,
Yeah.
and it's very very difficult to move them mentally and physically, so they won't go out and do exercise by their own until unless some other person pushes them, okay, let's go to the gym and do this. So they will say okay, and then whatever work is allotted to them, they will do at their own pace, but the
Hmm.
good part is like, and these are all the properties, don't get me wrong, every person is blessed with a unique kind of property, so we can't really decide or judge that this is wrong or this is good. For a person
Okay.
who is very energetic and he wants to start the project and still don't care how the project ends up, or the product that is available at the end of the project is even good, or is it even what actually initially the stakeholder wanted, and the product is not up to the mark, so that's not a good thing, even that you started the project at an early stage. But so it depends, relatively that function or the behavioral part of vata, it's not bad. And similarly in kapha also, like they will kapha person, they will do their projects, very at their own pace, and they will strive that the project is to its perfection, what the person actually wanted. They will have like intense hunger, and they will have intense thirst, and they have their own routines, they love what they are doing, they have soft and deep voices, they don't talk that much like a vata person. So vata person will be a b c d e f g, like talking to every talking to every person. But a kapha person will be, okay, I'll just focus on a. Okay, let
Mm.
me find this out. Okay. And then these persons, they are very, very good business decision makers. They shoulder the task, and they will take that responsibility, and even if like they earn the money. So money wise also, like this is an interesting one. So if you are earning money quickly, and then you are also that money is going from your pocket quickly, you are a vata person.
Oh,
And if you
you're
are
calling
gaining.
me out. No, I'm just kidding.
So so the kapha person will earn money slowly, steady, uh, and and the money, he will be a good saver, he has
Mm.
those so you remember the story that we used to hear as we were young kids, the story of hair and
Mm, the
the
tortoise and the
tortoise.
hare.
Yeah. so
Yes.
so the hare is a kapha person, a tortoise is a uh, vata person. Yeah,
That's a great
exactly. Yeah.
analogy.
Yeah, that's it. So again, in the end, we don't say that hair was good just because he was slow and steady, though what we comprehend from the story is slow and steady wins the race. That's good
Mm.
on one part, but that's not applicable on each and every aspect of our life, right? When we know that a lion is coming to kill us, slow and steady won't win the race.
Right.
So we have to run. So what
Right.
person will be alive in that case, and a cuff person will die. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know what
I
I mean?
totally get what you're saying, like,
Uh,
each of the doshas has its own
uh,
purpose, and,
yeah.
like, yeah,
So the
there's a
balance of all
reason they
these
all
doshas.
exist.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just saying there's a reason they all exist.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And so we cannot judge what is good, what is bad. It is just relative to the situation that we are in. So sometimes a grounded feeling, the stability is necessary to be the part of that situation. When some person is dying, we cannot be, running. Running, we can't run around that person and say, okay, you're dying, okay, I have to go, I have to do this thing, I have this, things to do, I have things to catch up. So you know what I mean, like each and every aspect of our life, it depends upon um, all these situations, these are relative. You
Right.
cannot decide. And then there's the third category, which is the pit, pith person, the
So
pitta
really,
person.
really quick before we move on to pitta, what if I totally understand what you're saying. If somebody has, more of one of these doshas, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But what if someone has so much kapha that they don't like want to even get out of bed? Like, what if they're at that point that they're depressed?
Hmm.
Is there anything naturally that they can do to kind of help with that or to
Yeah.
balance that out?
So, yes, Jada, definitely we can assess that part. So, if a person is depressed, any type of massage, abhyanga will be good, even for the vat, even for the kapha person. So, abhyang is the first thing, massaging your body with the oil is the first thing that you can do if a person is depressed. And then there's a concept of another concept, beautiful concept of marma points, marma therapy, uh, in Ayurveda, which is, these are the vital energy points on the body that you can stimulate, by doing self care, like self practice. You can do this at home, stimulating those points. Uh, you will open up, you know, the energies, and your doshas will get balanced. And
Mm,
so using those points, vital points, and stimulating them on a daily basis along with abhyanga is quintessential for a depressed person. I'm going to talk about marma points also, but that will be in another conversation. And it's
okay.
very it's very like it's so, I would say, under uh, I would say it's a hidden science that needs to be out, because it's so, like, the benefits of doing a burma therapy is, like, they are huge. People don't know the value of this marma points, or
Mhm.
stimulation of marma points. I'm a certified marma practitioner as well, and I always tell my patients, whatever problem they are having, whatever imbalance they are having, I always educate them to press those points that are relative to their condition. So in my line of treatment, I always help those patients out and tell them that you have to press these points along with having these lifestyle and dietary changes. So the I would say these small steps, incremental steps, will help you gain the balance more effectively and
Mm,
easily. Like, it will be more fast, rather than if you take just, oral medications and don't do any kind of dietary or lifestyle change, or don't stimulate your marma points. You will get there, but the time will be more. But if you do all these things together, and it's not that kind of, oh, these are so many things to follow. It's not like that. It's, it just take 1 or 2 minutes uh of your 24 hours, and you're good to go. So these are
nice.
such, yeah, so these are so good to stimulate.
Awesome. So that really makes sense about it almost sounds like kind of releasing energy from the body or activating energy in the body.
Yes, true, very true, Jada.
Nice. So, okay, so back to where were we on?
Pitta.
Pitta?
Pitta, yeah.
Yes.
So
So, yeah, go ahead.
so Pitta, these are very interesting persons, so we have many friends or persons around us who are Pitta in type. Like, these are persons who hate hot weather. They hate hot drinks. They hate all things that are hot, you know.
Hmm.
And these are people who are gluttons. Like, they will eat after 1 hour, 2 hours, and like their hunger is at the top level. Like, everything is very very um the fire element in their body is highest in, if you compare it with the other two, vata and kapha. So they will eat everything, any kind of even the cheesiest of cheesiest meal they will still eat. So if a vata and kapha person, all the three persons are having the same kind of meal, pitta will be the first one to say, okay, I want more after 1 hour or 2 hours. So they have like huge, uh, good digestion, I would say. Like they want the fire element is at the top. So I'll use another analogy. Think this as a barbecue. So you have like good, heat going on, where the heat is at the topmost. So people, pitta persons, they are having the heat like kind of a barbecue, you know
Hmm.
and the kapha person is having a heat of a candle, such. So the fire element in these persons, they are at the top. And um these are like, complexion wise, if you see, these are very, very fair people, and they have acne on their face, and they have plenty
Mm.
of moles on their face. They are very prone to freckles, you know, and
Okay.
all the hair, or the boils that happens when you have a rough skin, that happens very quickly in these persons. And they
Mm.
they have very, very anger issues, like they are very impatient and they have anger issues. So any person who is almost to the verge of fighting with you, think that that pitta is going wrong in that particular person. So
Okay.
avoid that person, go out of the side, because that person can do anything at that point of time, you know
Mm.
and this the behavioral part. And these are very, very intelligent people. They are very sharp, they exactly know what to do in your life. Like they have a plan in their mind and they'll execute it. They don't need any kind of motivation like a kapha person. And they are like full, I would say, adamant people, full of pride. And of course, they are nurturers also. They love, they love to 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 show off. Just like I said, like they are full of pride. And they have a very a smelly sweat, you know they have this
Okay.
perspiration that's going on. They have a certain kind of odor. So you might have, when these are unsaid situations in a workplace, when and a person is crossing by, and you smell that odor from that person, you know so
You're
uh
like, woof, that person
yeah,
has a lot
yeah.
of pitta.
So you have a smelly sweat. Yeah, that's one of the indication that that person is a pitta. And they will get all this wrinkling on the skin. So in comparison to vata, pitta, and kapha, pit person will be the first one to get aged in comparison with all the three, you
Mm.
know so they will get a wrinkling of the skin, and their hair will they will get bald very, very at a very young age in comparison with others, of course. Kapha. And so since hair fall is like everybody today is getting hair fall. That's another issue. That's kind of what's the pathology behind it. But in comparatively, if we were to say that all these person are living in um, a hypothetical world where everything is, the air is good, the food we are eating is it's devoid of any kind of pesticides, they are relatively living healthy, pitta will be the first person to get bald, you know
Mm.
and they are like I said, like, they are very organized, and they are very sharp. They exactly know what to do. So their planning is at the top, so
Okay. I'm
yeah.
picturing, like, whenever you're saying all this, I'm picturing someone who's, like, maybe, like, CEO of their own business,
Oh,
very,
yes.
like, on it, working, but knows
Mm,
what they're doing,
yes.
but also is gonna go bald by the time they're 50.
Yeah, you can. So yeah, you can relate that part. Whenever we tell these stories of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha person, every person, have someone in their lives who actually depict that picture.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Like, for
yeah,
each of these, I've been picturing a person, like, painting
yeah,
a mental picture.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so all these persons, these are the persons who are relatively healthy. So here comes the concept of prakriti or the vikriti. So these are the two words that comes more often when we talk about Ayurveda. What is prakriti and what is vikriti? So whatever we talked about earlier, like vata, the qualities of a vata person, the pitta person, and kapha person, these are prakriti. These are natural things, natural uh, balance of doshas that give them these kind of qualities. And when these persons they eat something that is not conducive to their doshas, they get disease. Like
Mm,
for a pitta person, the pitta person is relatively more prone to anger due to the pitta or the fire element in the body. So if he eats something which will increase the fire element more, that person will is definitely going to get some kind of disease that is related to that fire element. So, according to Ayurvedic treatment, we have to calm that excessive that we have to calm that fire element down. We have to balance that pitta dosha in that pitta person. So, and parallelly, if a kapha person is, as he's very slow, the fire element is very slow, is low. So we have to uh, help that person to balance out the kapha dosha in the body, and maybe tell him that okay, do this that will increase your fire element, do this that will increase some kind of I would say that will decrease the heaviness in your body, that
mhm,
the more grounded you are, it's more likely that you're going to get fat. So move your body. That's any kind of thing that will release that kapha dosha. And instead of getting stuck in somewhere in life, you need to do this to get that dosha moving. So anything that is stuck is bad for you, we will tell kapha person. And for a vata person who is going on to like multiple avenues, we will tell that person, okay, you need to calm down. You need to you need to calm down, baby. You have to come to a point where you are stabilized, where you are sitting somewhere, like not literally, like I'm talking about uh, uh, like we have to I'm just just picture it, like we have to tell them to calm down, to stabilize that vata energy to a place where it is better for you, like mentally and physically. So again, the vata person, they get tired very easily. So they can't do a 1 hour exercise,
mm,
relatively to the kapha person. So all these things that I'm telling you, these are relative. It's not that a vata person can't do exercise for 1 hour. Definitely, I'm a vata person by nature, and I know that I have to balance my vata throughout my life so that I don't get any kind of disease. So I regularly do abhyanga. I regularly have those hot drinks in the form of dietary changes that I have. I use hot herbs, spicy herbs in my food, because I know that will balance my vata dosha. And similarly, my family members, one of my family members, he's total kapha person. And so whatever I'm eating is actually not kind of conducive for him. So what he does is he exactly follows that, calms down his kapha dosha, you know
mhm.
so so he'll have all those changes that I will ask him to do, and he'll do that. And so every person is different. You may be and it's not like we have all the doshas in our body. It's not like we have only one dosha and the rest two are sitting there. No. So every second we have this, all the three doshas, they are going up down, up down. in a way. And whatever we are doing, whatever the way we are speaking, the way we are thinking, these are happening because of these life energies. So on a broader aspect, if we were to get balance out these energies, we got to know these what type of prakriti we are having. And that's why finding out the prakriti or the body constitution is one of the major step to diagnose any kind of disease. So this is prakriti. And whatever problem you are having, for example, you're telling me, Shweta, I'm having sleep issues. I don't sleep at night, or whenever I sleep, I don't get a fresh sleep. I wake up after 2 hours. So you're having a loss of sleep. So that is also due to increased vat. So that vata dosha imbalance. So that's the balance of dosha that is actually uh, manifesting in the form of sleep loss is your vikriti. That's not your prakriti. So you used to sleep, like a baby before that. This happened due to at some point of your life, due to XYZ reasons that I have to find out as a Ayurvedic doctor. So I will ask you, what were those reasons? What were you doing uh, before you started having these problems? So that is Vikriti part. So it's good to know your Prakriti, which is your body constitution. That will help you to manage your, lifestyle and dietary changes so that you don't end up in Vikriti.
I see. So the Vikriti is like
The present
the
state of doshas, the current state of doshas in your body.
okay, and then the prick Prikriti? Am I
Prakriti, yeah, Prakriti,
that would
nature.
be how
Yeah,
they originally were, the most
yeah,
natural state
yes,
for you to
yes,
be in.
you
I
got it right.
see.
You got it right.
Awesome. Well, I feel like I just learned so much. Thank you so much for
I
coming on
don't want to
here.
overwhelm my listeners. I have been studying all these things so for so long. Like, I think that they are a part of my life, and I don't want to overwhelm them with lots and lots of information in our first conversation. So,
No, this has been
so
great. You've really given a good description of each of the doshas and what Ayurveda is, and I am really hoping that anybody listening to this will really take away some knowledge from this. Because wow, that was a great, like, intro to Ayurveda.
sometimes, it's so, I would say, um, sometimes I'm with my family, I sit quiet, and I actually I'm connecting in my mind that, okay, now things are getting into one place. So when we were studying, as in graduates, when we were studying Ayurveda, our teacher used to, give us examples, and we used to, like, we weren't at that time very serious kind of students. So yeah, we used to have our fun, activities and all. So as slowly and slowly as I progressed in my academic life, all the examples that the daily examples that we experience in our life, they come to a part, all those puzzles, they fit, those pieces, they fit now. And I'm introspecting like retrospectively, if I go back those memories and I rewind all those things, it makes so much sense. Like, my
Mm,
teachers, whatever examples they used to give us, okay, do you know that this thing happens, this is because of this. And now I understand that part, and and today also, before having our conversation, I was actually thinking that, okay, uh, how should I let people know that all these things, these are not mystique, these are not mystical, these are actual science. There's a science behind
right.
that. So this is one of the myths that I want to, debunk in front of our listeners, that Ayurveda is some kind of mystical science. No, mystical, it's kind of mystique. No, there's nothing, no fluff in it. It's absolutely relevant. There are the basic principles behind it, and when you understand those principles, you actually get know of the complexities of the human body. You know that human body is a machine, and how does that work. There are some things that you don't have an answer to, but if you understand these Vata, Pitta, and Kapha dosha, you will be able to understand, okay, now it makes sense. Now I can help myself. Now I can help my family members. Now I can help my community.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for saying that because I do feel like a lot of time in Western culture, if people can't see something spelled out for them in a very like, but that's the thing, Ayurveda you can look at also in a textbook way.
Mhm.
But I guess if there's something that seems different or unheard of to us, but it's thousands of years old, there's
Mm.
probably something to it. There's probably a reason that thousands of years later,
Yes.
we're still using this medicine and it's working.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Oh, yes.
it's also really interesting to see too what you're saying about each of these doshas and the students that I see day to day in my yoga classes.
Mm.
Because I
Mm.
often find that
Mhm.
whenever I tell people what types of yoga classes I teach, they're
Mm.
always instantly drawn to one,
Mm.
and usually the one that they're drawn to is the one they need the least. So, if I have someone in my class who is more sluggish and doesn't have a lot of energy
Mhm.
and doesn't really wanna move, that
Mhm.
person doesn't need to come to a yin class and lay around for an
Mm.
hour and stretch
Mm.
their connective tissue. That person probably needs to come to a hatha or vinyasa class and, like,
Mm.
get the
Mm.
energy flowing?
Yes, yes, yes. Very true, very
So,
true.
yeah, so it really just
So
all
now
comes
you're
back to
connecting
that.
those, yeah, now you're connecting the pieces, Jada. Yes,
Yes.
that's the beauty. Like we can connect each and everything in our life, everything is so much connected if we know what is Vat, what is Pitta, and what is Kaph. And I'm not biased. I'm not biased. I'm just, if I have an unbiased opinion, all these things that I know, they make so much sense now. Seriously, they
Yes.
make so much sense.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Where can people find you online?
Yes. So I have an official business page running, which is called Ayush for Life Official, and that's my Facebook business page, and my Instagram handle is also @Ayush for Life Official. And Ayush, to the listeners, Ayush literally means Ayu, life. So when you want to know something about your life, you run towards Ayurveda, you run towards Ayush for Life's official.
Yes, and you've got all kinds of like I was looking on your Facebook page, you post YouTube videos and all kinds of little informational goodies on there about Ayurveda. So if you guys
Yeah.
are interested in learning more about Ayurveda, definitely check out Vaidya Shweta's Facebook page. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jada, and I'm so glad that if I was able to help out people and give them a brief, overview of what Ayurveda is and how they can help themselves.
Yes, I definitely think this will provide a lot of information for people. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, please pop over to your favorite podcasting platform and leave a positive review. I would appreciate that so much. Have a good day, guys. Namaste.